Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba, not Yahuwah, not Hashem, not Yahweh, Haveh, Vaveh. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yahusha, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos. It's Yahweh Shai. So we got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder, bishop, and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the arcane believing this truth and pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the whole elect. Shalom to the Akwath who will listen learning, if you sis will listen learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando, Camp Prophet of Doom, coming into another lesson of truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord willing to be edifying. And this is copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This is for education purposes only. This is not for monetary gain. I do not own the copyright to these videos. This is for educational purposes only. Lord willing to be edifying. And this is draconian measures. This is draconian measures with a stout look to enforce power or to flex their power, because America is done, man. America is done, and it has no respect for its allies. So this is Babylon the Great, aka America, or America, BKA Babylon the Great, using draconian measures with a stout look to flex his power, to enforce power. Lord was edifying. Let me go back to the other video first.
All hell is breaking loose in Venezuela as the United States invaded and, according to Donald Trump, captured Maduro. The opposition party in Venezuela in exile is claiming that Maduro negotiated his exit with Donald Trump, but the Vice President Delcy Rodriguez and the Defense Minister of Venezuela seem to know nothing about any negotiated exit. They are demanding proof of life of Maduro, and they are calling out the invasion by the Trump regime. Meanwhile, you have United States Senator Mike Lee saying he just got off the phone with Marco Rubio, and Maduro is being transferred to the United States to be prosecuted here. There's a lot of mass confusion taking place. Donald Trump made no statements prior to the invasion. The post he made prior was a fat-shaming post of Governor Pritzker holding a hamburger, and then Donald Trump was doing tile shopping for marble and onyx for the Golden Ballroom. So this invasion was all of a sudden just started taking place in Venezuela. Multiple sites were struck by the United States military. Fuerte Tijuana, the main military base in Cacus. La Carlo, the main air base in Caracas. El Volcan, the main signal antenna. La Guaira Port, the main port of Venezuela. Higuete Airport, the air base in the state of Miranda, and also the mausoleum where Hugo Chavez's body is buried was also blown up as well. We were covering it live here on the Midas Touch YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe, by the way. You may think you're subscribed. Help us get to 6 million subscribers and support independent media. So Donald Trump made this post in the early hours of the morning. He says, the United States of America successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump, But at the same time, you have the Minister of Defense, who was part of the Maduro government, Vladimir Padrino Lopez. His home was targeted during the invasion by the United States, but he was not killed. He held a press conference and he spoke out about what he called the criminal military aggression of the United States. And then you had Delcy Rodriguez, the vice president, who based on the Venezuelan constitution would become the president. Let me be clear, Maduro is an illegitimate leader. I still don't think there should be an unlawful invasion of Venezuela without the authorization of the United States Congress. So I believe this invasion was patently unlawful. But the Venezuelan vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, she held a call this morning, which was made public across Venezuela and the world, where she said she doesn't know the whereabout of Nicolas, Maduro's wife. She's not aware of any negotiated settlement. She called for a proof of life to be given by the United States. You also had statements coming out from Colombia. Their leader, Gustavo Pro, put out a statement when the bombing was taking place, when the invasion was taking place by the United States, saying right now they are bombing Caracas. Alert the whole world. They've attacked Venezuela. They're bombing with missiles. The OAS and the UN must meet immediately. Then Gustavo Petro also wrote, we have just concluded the National Security Council meeting, which began at 3 a.m. Public forces are being deployed to the border, and all available support forces will be deployed in the event of a massive influx of refugees from Venezuela. The Colombian embassy in Venezuela is active and responding to calls for assistance from Colombians in Venezuela as members of the United Nations Security Council. We seek to convene the council. The government of Colombia rejects the aggression against the sovereignty of Venezuela and of Latin America. Internal conflicts between people are resolved by those same people. In peace, that is the principle of self-determination of people, which forms the foundation of the United Nations system. I invite the Venezuelan people to find paths of civil dialogue and their unity. Without sovereignty, there is no nation. Peace is the way, and dialogue between people is fundamental for national unity. Dialogue and more dialogue is what is needed. We also know that there are definitely casualties and fatalities of Venezuelans. It left an unspecified number of Venezuelans dead and injured. Venezuelan officials said in a statement, the number of those casualties is still being assessed. According to the New York Times, Mike Lee, the MAGA Republican senator, I mean, again, there's so much conflicting information out there. I just want to give you everything that's out there as of now. He says, just got off the phone with Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. He informed me that Nicolas Maduro has been arrested by U.S. personnel to stand trial on criminal charges in the United States, and that the kinetic action we saw tonight was deployed to protect and defend those executing the arrest warrant. This action likely falls within the president's inherent authority under Article 2 of the Constitution to protect the U.S. personnel from actual or imminent attack. I disagree. I think this is actually counter to the Constitution. I believe it was clearly an unlawful invasion that required Congress's approval. But MAGA bootlickers like Mike Lee are going to bootlick. Essentially, that's what they're going to do. Also, it should be noted that yesterday, before the strike took place, interestingly, there were Chinese officials, top special envoys from China, were there meeting with Nicolas Maduro. You see the photos right here. Chinese officials are arriving in Venezuela for talks with Nicolas Maduro. And just a few hours ago, as Alana Stova writes, before the strikes took place by the United States, the Chinese special envoy was meeting Maduro for 3 hours in Caracas. It's unclear if China knew what was going on. It's unclear if this was indeed a negotiated arrangement between Maduro and the Trump regime, and that these attacks were used as a smokescreen to get Maduro out of there, or if Maduro was actually captured and kidnapped as part of the broader invasion taking place. But as I mentioned before, it does not seem like the defense minister, Vladimir Padrino Lopez, whose home was targeted, was aware of this. It does not seem like Delcy Rodriguez was aware of it. The vice president, she seems not to have been aware of it, and she's coming out with very defiant statements as well. Democratic Senator Ruben Go put out the following statement: second unjustified war in my lifetime. This war is illegal. It's embarrassing that we went from the world cop to the world bully in less than 1 year. There is no reason for us to be at war with Venezuela. When I think about the United States invasion of Venezuela, I also think about Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but I think about the recent attacks on Kiev. Now look, it's different in the sense that Maduro is truly an illegitimate leader. Nonetheless, while Maduro is an illegitimate leader, I don't believe we should have invaded Venezuela without congressional authority, and even then, I don't think we should be putting troops in Venezuela, or invading Venezuela. My view is we should be focusing on getting Americans healthier, making housing affordable in the United States. We should be focused on making things more affordable and generally improving people's lives here in the United States before engaging at all in these imperial conquests and Donald Trump's view of a Monroe Doctrine. We control the Western Hemisphere, but when you think about Donald Trump's view of the world and Marco Rubio's view of the world multipolar, the U.S. controls the Western Hemisphere. Everything else they consider to be vassal states. They want Russia to control all of Europe and China to control all of Asia. So by engaging in this invasion of Venezuela and capturing or negotiating the capture of or with Maduro, whatever actually finds out, with Trump, there's always shadiness and lies. And so I want to be very careful how I phrase this, but think about it. If you're Vladimir Putin, you believe you now have a green light, right? That it's just the law of the strong. And if Trump can do this, Putin's going to say, well, why can't I kidnap my enemies? I want to kidnap anybody. And who's going to patrol the world when Donald Trump's out there engaging in these types of invasions? So my invasion of Ukraine should be fine. And I want to kidnap Zelensky. Or what's stopping China from saying that they want to kidnap the president of Taiwan? Or China saying, look, the U.S. is doing this, so we're going to do this. That's why the entire world order post World War II has been destroyed by Donald Trump's despicable behavior and despicable actions. Now, as I mentioned, this comes on the same day when Donald Trump was earlier this morning talking about acing cognitive exams. He goes, I have perfect health. I aced the cognitive exam for the third time. I'll show you these videos later, but we have videos of Donald Trump back in April saying he passed 4 cognitive exams. And in this morning's post, he's saying, I aced the third straight cognitive exam, and the doctors tell me that I have perfect health right now. And then he started posting more photos of windmills, and he claimed there were bald eagles getting killed by these windmills in America. But just like the windmill he posted last week, which was in Israel, and it was a falcon, now he's posting windmills of Spain 2010 and Taiwan 2006, and he's saying these are bald eagles when they're not, and he's saying that these are windmills in the United States, which they're not. He's doing fat-shaming AI images of Governor Pritzker. And there was no notice to the American people before or during when this invasion was taking place. And so people were very confused. What the hell is even going on? This is what the United States is doing, and Donald Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize while he's provoking so much war and chaos and hell across the world right now. So that's part of what the Trump regime is doing. You also have the Trump regime posting that America will be so beautiful. America after 100 million deportations. And then it's a photo of like a beach, and the Homeland Security website goes the PE, or the social media handle goes the peace of a nation no longer besieged by the third world. So anyway, we're going to keep you posted every step of the way. You've seen the photos of Maduro being captured by, you've seen the photos of Maduro. We'll show you as they arrive. We'll be posted every step of the way here on the Midas Touch YouTube channel. So hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. And thanks so much for watching. Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the Midas Touch podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your.
Hey, and as this guy said, this is about Babylon the Great flexing their power, man. Habakkuk 2 and 5 it reads, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. And his draconian measures, his policies, neither keep it at home, which this guy mentioned. He should be trying to build back and make America healthy again. But it's over, man. There's no bone for this play. There's nothing that can be done to heal America, man. Habakkuk 2 and 5 again it reads, yet also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell. He got over 700, 800 military bases around the world, man. And is as death. Everywhere he go at, all he brings is death. The separate claim so-called white man, but America, Babylon the Great. The elites control the world from America. The elites control the world from America and Israel, man. And is as death. And they tell you that in what's that, Psalms 9. And cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So as it say right here, neither keepeth at home, meaning he won't stay in his own country. America is becoming a third world country, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is death, and is as death. So when you go to this Psalms, this is Psalms 9, right here, verse 17. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. So these devils, man, and what it tell you in what's that, Revelation? Revelation 6 and 8 right here. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. See? So let's get, I got this next clip here. From this guy here, Jeffrey Sachs. Let's get into this. Hey, cause this is just Babylon the Great flexing their power, man. Using draconian measures with a stout look to flex their power. Because, hey, they can't do this to no other country.
Through the implications.
They can't do this to no other country, man.
Carefully, because if...
Let's go back to this. Hold on, bear with me here.
If the reports are accurate and Donald Trump has ordered military strike on Venezuela, capturing Nicolas Maduro, we are witnessing the most significant breakdown of international order since the invasion of Iraq, and possibly the end of any pretense that international law constrains American action. Let me be very clear about what this means, not just for Venezuela, not just for Latin America, but for the entire structure of global governance that has existed since World War II. Because what Trump is reportedly doing violates every principle of that order: sovereignty, non-intervention, due process, international law, all discarded in favor of unilateral military action against sovereign government on another continent. I want to walk through the implications carefully, because if this is real, we are entering fundamentally new and dangerous era where American power operates without legal or diplomatic constraints. The reported facts are stunning. Trump announced large-scale attack on Venezuela. American forces conducted Operation Helicopter's overhead explosions in Caracas. Nicolas Maduro reportedly captured. Trump provided no legal justification, no international mandate, no explanation of authority, just promised more details later at press conference. This is not how law-abiding states conduct foreign policy. This is how rogue states operate unilateral military action against sovereign government without legal process, without international approval. The last time United States intervened this directly in Latin America was 1989 invasion of Panama to capture Manuel Noriega. That operation was widely criticized as violation of international law, but at least had some legal pretext. Noriega was indicted in U.S. courts on drug trafficking charges. Panama had political crisis with competing governments. U.S. claimed authorization from legitimate government. The legal case was weak, but existed. What legal case exists for Venezuela? United States does not recognize Maduro as legitimate after 2024 elections, but that is political position, not legal authority for military intervention. United States accuses Maduro of leading narco-trafficking organization, but accusation is not conviction and does not authorize invasion of sovereign country to arrest sitting head of state. There is no UN Security Council resolution, no international legal process, no authorization from anybody with legitimate authority, just American unilateral decision to conduct military operation on another continent against government. America does not like. This is exactly the kind of action that international law was designed to prevent, because if accepted, it means that powerful states can simply invade weaker states whenever they claim legal justification without any international oversight or constraint. This is return to 19th century imperialism, where might makes right and powerful states do as they please. Now consider immediate implications for Venezuela. If Maduro has been captured or killed, what happens next? Trump administration and supporters claim this opens path for democratic opposition to take power. Maria Corina Machado, Nobel Peace Prize winner, Edmundo Gonzalez, opposition candidate, both could potentially lead transition to democracy. This is optimistic scenario, but consider alternative possibilities. Venezuelan military has remained loyal to Maduro, not because they love him, but because Chavista system provides them power and wealth. If Maduro is removed by American force, do they simply accept opposition government, or do they fight to maintain position? Venezuelan paramilitaries, colectivos, are heavily armed and ideologically committed. Do they disarm peacefully or resist American occupation? Cuban advisors, Russian technicians, Iranian operatives all present in Venezuela. Do they leave quietly or support resistance? The optimistic scenario assumes clean transition.
Hey, so real quick, I'm looking at these different articles. One say Trump snatching of Maduro shows a new level of unrestrained global power. See, that's what this is about, man. This is America promoting its last flex, man. Trying to show that it's still relevant, which America is irrelevant, man. But it's trying to show that it's still relevant. Another article say, Trump says U.S. is going to run Venezuela after Maduro arrest. See? So, yeah, man, we just watching America push his last flex, man. Hey, and you know, this is a Edomite system. Revelations 13. Right? The seven head and 10 horn beast is an Edomite system. And this is what the Lord heavily made the points all over the scripts, man, that this battle between the harlot, NATO, and EU, man. See, this is an Edomite affair, and this is why I tell you in Michael. This is Michael 2 and 3. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which you shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go haughtily, for this time is evil. See, in that day shall one take up a parable against you, this family, the Edomite family, and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, we be utterly spoiled. He have changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it far from me? Turning away, he have divided our fields. Therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of Yahweh. Because see, they're going to be completely annihilated after they serve their captivity in the kingdom of heaven. See, ain't going to be nobody to cast a cord by lot for you to be amongst the Israelites. You got to be completely removed, man. And see, like it say right here, therefore thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family I devise an evil. And what these devils trying to do, like it said in Habakkuk 2, right here in verse 9, woe to him that coveted an evil covetousness. See, he devised an evil against his family. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high. To do what? That he may be delivered from the power of evil. But the Lord got him reserved for the day of evil, man. Proverbs. This is Proverbs 16:4. Yahweh have made all things for himself, yet even the wicked for the day of evil. So while these devils is trying to heap treasure to themselves, like it said in James 5, they go back to the Habakkuk 2, so they can be delivered from the power of evil. The Lord got you specifically reserved just for that. For evil, man. Let's go back to this. These devils is something else, man, but this is them flexing their power. Because the scriptures say his look is more stout than his fellows, man. And this is why Obadiah 1 tell you, allies, man, it's over for Babylon, man. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. And see, like this guy said, the first guy played, he making the point, and as Jeffrey Sachs making the same point. Now you showing the work, now you showing other nations they can do the same thing. It's already a separation amongst the Edomites as it is, man. But let's finish this because Jeffrey Sachs,
government,
he goes in
but
heavy
more
on
likely
this,
scenario is chaos, competing factions, armed resistance, potential civil war, and American forces stuck in middle, trying to impose order through military occupation of country that does not want American presence. This is recipe for long-term disaster. Exactly the pattern we saw in Iraq. Remove leader through military force, assume grateful population will embrace American-backed government, discover that reality is far more complicated, and end up with years of violent resistance, thousands of deaths, billions in costs, and no clear path to exit. But Venezuela implications are just beginning because every other country is watching and drawing conclusions about what American power means for their sovereignty. Russia sees American invasion of Venezuela and asks what prevents American invasion of anyone. If United States can simply invade country capture leader without legal process, on what basis is any country safe from American intervention? China sees same.
Man, Salakia. Hey, this is heavy. Listen to this. So this is from Newsweek. It reads, Trump shows Putin how to do a special military operation perspective. It reads, 36 years ago, U.S. troops spent 10 days waiting on Panama's strongman, Manuel Noriega, as he holed up inside the Vatican's diplomatic mission in Panama City, while Americans' psychological operation teams blasted rock music outside until he finally surrendered on January 3rd, 1990. Today, President Donald Trump has staged a harsher sequel, a large-scale strike that ended with Nicolas Maduro and his wife captured and flown out of Venezuela. So he said, this is this nigga flexing. Trump shows Putin how to do a special military operation perspective.
Calculation,
is flexing,
if
man.
America invades sovereign country in Western Hemisphere, what prevents American intervention anywhere when America decides target government is illegitimate or criminal? Iran sees that American threats are not empty, that Trump is willing to use military force unilaterally without international approval. This changes Iranian calculations about nuclear program, about regional activities, about American red lines. North Korea draws same conclusions. American military threats must be taken seriously. This could either deter or accelerate nuclear development depending on North Korean assessment of American intentions. Every American adversary is recalculating what American power means and how to respond, but American allies are also watching with growing alarm. If America can invade Venezuela without legal process, what constrains American action anywhere? European allies built entire foreign policy on principle of rules-based international order. Sovereignty matters, international law matters, UN authorization matters. American action in Venezuela violates all of these principles. How do European allies maintain that rules matter when their primary ally ignores rules? completely. This creates impossible position support, American action in Venezuela, and undermine principles of international order, oppose American action and damage alliance with United States. Most will probably remain silent, hoping problem goes away, but silence in face of clear violation is complicity and undermines European credibility when they invoke international law elsewhere. Latin American countries face even worse dilemma. Many governments opposed Maduro. Many wanted democratic change in Venezuela, but none wanted American military intervention, because American intervention violates sovereignty principle that protects all Latin American countries from American power. Let me be specific about what this means for individual Latin American countries. Brazil under Lula has been critical of Maduro, but also critical of American interventionism. Brazilian foreign policy is built on principles of non-intervention and sovereignty. These are not abstract values. They are core to Brazilian national identity, forged through history of resisting American pressure in region. If United States can invade Venezuela, Brazil must choose support American action and abandon core principles, or oppose American action and damage relationship with most important security partner. This is impossible choice, and Brazil will likely try to avoid making it through studied ambiguity, but ambiguity in face of clear violation damages Brazilian credibility on sovereignty. Issues elsewhere, Colombia borders Venezuela and has complicated relationship with Maduro regime. Colombia wants stability in Venezuela because Venezuelan instability creates refugee flows, drug trafficking, and security threats. But Colombian government also depends on American support for security against guerrillas and narco traffickers. If America invades Venezuela, Colombia faces similar impossible choice support, American action, and accept principle that America can invade neighbors when it chooses, or oppose and risk American support for Colombian security. Mexico has already experienced American threats under Trump tariffs, border walls, pressure on migration. Mexican government understands that if America invades Venezuela, Mexico could be next target if America decides Mexican government is insufficiently cooperative on migration or drug trafficking. This will push Mexico toward more independent foreign policy and probably closer relationship with China as hedge against American pressure. Argentina under Milei has been most pro-American government in Latin America, but even Milei cannot support American invasion of Venezuela without domestic political backlash, because Argentine public memory of American support for military dictatorship makes any American military intervention politically toxic. Cuba sees Venezuelan invasion as confirmation of American threat. For decades, Cuba has claimed that American hostility endangers Cuban sovereignty. Venezuelan invasion proves that American threats are real, not paranoid fantasy. This will justify continued Cuban authoritarianism and militarization as necessary defenses against American intervention. Every single Latin American country, regardless of ideological position, must now calculate that American military intervention is possible if Washington decides their government is problematic. This fundamentally changes regional politics away from partnership with United States toward hedging and balancing against American power, exactly opposite of stated American interests in region. Middle East countries draw equally concerning conclusions. Iran sees that American military threats against regime are credible. If America invades Venezuela to remove Maduro, America could invade Iran to remove supreme leader. This changes Iranian calculations about nuclear program. Peaceful resolution requires trusting that America will not seek regime change, but Venezuelan invasion shows America does seek regime change through military force when convenient. So Iranian regime concludes nuclear weapons are necessary deterrent against American intervention. Syria sees similar pattern. America already intervened militarily in Syria, but without attempting regime change. Venezuelan invasion suggests that American restraint in Syria was not principled opposition to regime change, just tactical assessment that Assad removal would be too difficult. If circumstances change, America will pursue regime change there too. Iraq sees confirmation of pattern they experienced. American invasion to remove Saddam Hussein, years of occupation and violence, and eventual American withdrawal, leaving Iraq devastated. Venezuelan invasion follows exact same pattern. American claims of humanitarian intervention and democracy promotion, followed by military action and occupation with predictable disastrous results. Every Middle East country, whether aligned with America or opposed, understands that American military power operates without legal constraints. When America decides intervention serves interests, this drives regional arms races and pushes countries toward developing capabilities that deter American intervention. Nuclear programs, missile arsenals, asymmetric warfare, all responses to unconstrained. American military power. Asia-Pacific countries face different but related concerns. If America invades Venezuela, what prevents American military action against North Korea to remove Kim Jong-un, or against Myanmar to remove military junta, or against any other government? America considers problematic. Philippines has defense treaty with United States, but also has domestic opposition to American military presence. Venezuelan invasion will strengthen Philippine opposition to American bases, because if America uses military force unilaterally, Philippine bases could drag Philippines into conflicts. Philippines does not want South Korea, depends on American security guarantee, but South Korea also borders North Korea. If America decides to pursue regime change in North Korea through military action, South Korea would bear catastrophic costs. Venezuelan invasion shows that America makes these decisions unilaterally without necessarily consulting allies who bear the consequences. Japan faces similar concerns. If American intervention in Venezuela is acceptable, what prevents American military action elsewhere in Asia when America decides it is necessary? Japanese constitution prohibits offensive military operations, but American decisions about military intervention could force Japan into conflicts that violate constitutional principles. European allies face crisis of principles versus alliance. European Union is built on commitment to international law, sovereignty, non-intervention, multilateral decision-making. These are not negotiable values. These are foundations of European project. Venezuelan invasion violates all these principles. If EU supports American action, it undermines every principle EU claims to stand for. If EU opposes American action, it damages transatlantic alliance, that is foundation of European security. This is impossible position, and different European countries will respond differently. France has tradition of independent foreign policy and may publicly criticize American action. Germany is more cautious about confronting America and will probably remain silent while privately expressing concern. UK is most aligned with America and may support action or at least refuse to criticize, but this division within Europe further weakens European capacity for unified foreign policy and damages European credibility when invoking international law elsewhere. Russia and China see enormous strategic opportunity. American invasion of Venezuela without legal justification or international mandate is exactly the precedent they have been warning about. Russian propaganda has claimed for years that American commitment to rules-based order is hypocritical, that America invokes rules against others but ignores rules when they constrain American power. Venezuelan invasion proves Russian argument completely and undeniably. This will strengthen Russian position in arguments about Ukraine, about Syria, about anywhere Russia has intervened. Russia will say explicitly, we do what America does. If American intervention in Venezuela is legitimate, so is Russian intervention elsewhere. China makes similar argument about Taiwan, about South China Sea, about any territorial dispute. If America can intervene unilaterally when it claims security interests, so can China. When it claims core interests, Venezuelan invasion destroys American credibility in arguing for rules-based order, because America demonstrates it does not follow rules, it expects others to follow. This is catastrophic for international system, because rules only work when everyone believes powerful countries will follow them. If powerful countries ignore rules, when convenient weaker countries conclude that rules are just rhetoric and real. International relations are about power alone. This drives everyone toward power. Competition, arms races, regional conflicts, alliance building, all the dynamics that rules-based order was designed to prevent returning to 19th century great power politics, where might makes right and only balance of power prevents war. This is far more dangerous than rules-based system because balance of power is unstable, shifts in relative power create temptations to use force while opportunity exists. This is exactly how World War I started shifting. Power balances, security dilemmas, and lack of effective international constraints on military action, Venezuelan invasion, if confirmed, accelerates return to that kind of system by demonstrating that most powerful country does not accept legal constraints on its military actions when it decides force is necessary. Now consider legal implications for international order. International law is built on principle that states are sovereign, equal under law, protected from external interference. Exceptions exist for self-defense and UN-authorized humanitarian intervention, but these are narrow exceptions with strict requirements. American action in Venezuela fits none of these exceptions. Venezuela did not attack United States. There is no self-defense claim. United Nations did not authorize intervention. There is no human.
Babylon the Great is getting taunted. Let me get this. Babylon is getting taunted, man. So it's trying to stay relevant, man. This is Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him? See, and that's what this is. This is the taunting. Everything that's going on with America, America is being weak, man. Like I said in Joel 3, the Lord say, prepare the nations, right? Let's read that. See, America is becoming weak, man, and all the other countries is becoming stronger. Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares and the swords, and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So, these nations is being built up, man. Let's go back to this. Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him? There was a time when it was just America and Russia that had nukes, man. They had this intercontinental ballistic missile power, man. No. I was just looking at the article. It said that Russia just gave Belarus, Belarus, I'm sorry. Russia just gave Belarus some missiles. Let me see if I can go back to that. Well, I'm looking at that on my other phone, man. It's a lot of articles popping. But it said in Smart News that I was just reading it. In Smart News, it said Belarus just accepted a missile defense system, a hypersonic missile defense system from Putin, man. And they got him and Putin shaking hands on the steel. Let me see. I was just looking at it. Look, here's an article. Russia backs Maduro, says disputes must be settled through dialogue. Ain't no damn dialogue, man. It say Russia backs Maduro. So, this is going to be a problem, man. But this is just Babylon the Great flexing his power. And the elites is doing this, man. The elites got their hand all over this. We know that. But yeah, I can't find the article. But it said Belarus just received intercontinental hypersonic missiles from Russia. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can type that in real quick. Yeah, 4 days ago, right here. Russia deploys hypersonic Oryzhnik missiles in Belarus amid European whatever. Yeah, I just saw the article a few minutes ago. I was just reading it. Europe now in Russia's direct reach, Moscow shows. Yeah, man. But there it is. Russia deploys hypersonic missiles in Belarus. Belarus, I'm sorry. Yeah, man. So let's go back to this. Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that decreaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that laid himself with thick clay, which is the debt. You know, America's debt over hundreds of trillions of dollars, man. Shall not they rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and that shall be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. And then I got another clip showing you how these people is having a party because this guy Maduro allegedly got caught, man.
The United States simply decided unilaterally to remove Venezuelan government through military force and capture head of state. This is textbook violation of international law, specifically UN Charter Article 214, prohibition on use of force against territorial integrity or political independence of any state, and Article 247, prohibition on intervention in matters essentially within domestic jurisdiction. American action violates both explicitly and without apology if this becomes accepted precedent. International law becomes meaningless because most powerful state can simply ignore it when convenient and invoke domestic legal claims or political justifications to override international obligations. This is exactly what happened in Iraq. 2003, United States invaded without UN authorization, claiming self-defense against potential future threat and regime change for humanitarian reasons. International law community condemned invasion as illegal, but could not prevent it, and precedent was established. Powerful state can violate international law if willing to bear political costs. Venezuela invasion, if confirmed, reinforces that precedent and makes clear that American conception of international order is not rules-based, but power-based. America makes rules for others, but exempts itself when rules constrain American action. This is unsustainable because it destroys legitimacy of international system if rules apply only to weak states, but not to powerful states. Then rules are not law, they are just expressions of power. Relationships and weaker states have no reason to comply except through coercion. Now consider domestic American implications. Trump conducted this operation apparently without congressional authorization. War Powers Act requires congressional approval for sustained military operations unless there is imminent threat to United States. Venezuela poses no such threat. So Trump should have sought congressional approval before conducting military operation, did he? Or did he simply order military action and assume Congress would accept fait accompli? This is pattern we have seen before. Presidents expanding executive authority over military action, conducting operations first, seeking approval later. If at all, if Congress accepts Venezuelan operation without demanding accountability, it further erodes constitutional limits on executive war powers and establishes precedent that president can wage war unilaterally whenever he claims national security justification. This is path to imperial presidency, unconstrained by congressional oversight or constitutional limits. The fact that Trump announced operation publicly before providing legal justification suggests he does not believe he needs legal justification. He is president commander-in-chief. He decided Venezuela intervention was necessary, therefore it is legitimate. This is exactly the logic that international law and constitutional limits are designed to prevent.
And the first guy played, he was saying Maduro, he's not an upright person, but he should at least, they should at least deal with him justly. According to the American policies and uh, the upholding of the court. Well, it tell you in Isaiah 26 that the so-called white man, he would deal unjustly, man. He would not behold the majesty of the Lord. That's Isaiah 26. And that's why it make more sense, because Elder Yashram had made the point in Job 9 when it said he covered the face of the judges thereof. He ain't just cover up Yahweh and Yahweh Shah and the Israelites. He covered up the law, statute, and commandments of the Lord, man. The regulations of Yahweh Bashim Shah. He also covered that too. That's why I say he would deal unjustly. He would not behold the majesty of the Lord, man. Isaiah 24:5, they transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. So the self-proclaimed white man, he ain't gonna do justly, man. Because in Isaiah 32, as it reads, let me get this. Isaiah 32:5. And see, this is why they're trying to stay, this is why Babylon the Great trying to stay relevant, man. Because all the countries are surpassing these devils. And that's why I tell you in Jeremiah 51, Babylon, it was a golden cup in the Lord's hand. It was a golden cup that made all the earth, all the nations drink, man. America is not a golden cup anymore. Isaiah 32:5, the vile person shall no more be called liberal. And this is why Putin said, if you want to trade your Western liberal ways for Russian moral values, come to God. The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful, for the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity. Hey, this is why Paul mentioned in 2 Thessalonians that the mystery of iniquity do already work. Because this is the self-proclaimed white man, for the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart, his mind will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and what else? And to utter error against Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will call the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churl are evil. This is why the Lord say he devised evil against his family. And he reserved them for the day of evil. He devised wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. This him, man. This nigga would not deal justly. His job as a entity of the spiritual demon Satan is to utter error against Yahweh.
If domestic politics support the action and international system cannot prevent it, those limits prove ineffective, and we are left with pure exercise of power unconstrained by law or norms. Now consider what happens if reports prove false or exaggerated, if Trump announced operation that did not actually occur, or that was much more limited than described. This creates different but equally serious problems. It means American president is willing to lie publicly about military operations to achieve political objectives. This would destroy credibility of American statements about any military or foreign policy matter. If Trump lies about Venezuela invasion, how can anyone trust American intelligence assessments or threat evaluations or diplomatic commitments? Credibility is fundamental to international relations. If American president cannot be trusted to tell truth about basic facts, then American diplomatic word becomes worthless, and American threats lose deterrent value because no one knows if they are real. So either way, whether invasion happened or not, the damage is severe. If invasion happened, international law is shattered. If invasion did not happen, American credibility is destroyed. Neither outcome is good for international order or for American interests, but both are consistent with pattern. We have been seeing American power becoming more unilateral, less constrained by law or allies, more willing to act without international approval. This is dangerous trajectory because unconstrained power eventually provokes resistance from those who feel threatened, and resistance to unconstrained American power is exactly what we are seeing. Russia arming and supporting anti-American forces, China building alternative institutions, Iran developing deterrent capabilities, all responses to perception that American power operates without limits and cannot be constrained through international institutions. Venezuelan invasion, if confirmed, will accelerate these trends dramatically because it proves to everyone watching that American power respects no limits.
See this? Russia's growing military presence in Venezuela stuns U.S. defense. And that's why the article I just read, it said Putin backs Maduro. Where is it? It done moved. Hold on. Hey, so this is a problem. It's gonna be a problem, man. Yeah, I just read the article. It said Putin backs Maduro. So here's another one. Russian general blames UK spies for horror New Year attack that killed 27 people. See? Hey, man. This is America trying to flex its power because it isn't relevant anymore, man. America is losing its dominance, its hegemony. Hey, and as the scripture tell you, we got next, man. We got next. So-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. The 12 tribes of Israel.
American interests are at stake, and therefore the only effective response is building power to resist American actions. This is recipe for arms races, regional conflicts, and eventual great power confrontation, because international system built on rules and norms is being replaced by system built on pure power and power competition. And in that system, conflict is not prevented by law. Conflict is prevented only by balance of power or fear of catastrophic consequences. And both are far less stable than rules-based order. So regardless of what happens in Venezuela, regardless of whether Maduro was captured or not, the reported American action represents fundamental breakdown of international order and acceleration toward more dangerous and unstable world.
Alright, so I'm gonna get this. This is Daniel 7:19. It reads, "Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, which was the Spanish, French, and the British Revolution War, and here in America, the colonized Babylon, the Great America. Even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows." So this is America flexing his look, man, and his draconian measures. This is Job. I'm going to get this last one here. This is Job 24. And 20. No, Job 24 and 21, it reads, "He evil entreateth the barren." See, he's always talking about evil, man. "He evil entreateth the barren that beareth not, and doeth not good to the widow. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He riseth up, and no man is sure of life." You see, this is so-called white man. Since they've been raised up, since the Greeks, nobody is sure of life, man. This is Proverbs 20 and 21. "An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning," and that's how Alexander got it, man. He got it hastily. Inheritance is the land. He conquered the known lands, man, hastily. "An inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but at the end thereof shall not be blessed." So we are finding out that these Edomites, man, in the end, they ain't gonna be blessed, man. But yeah, I just Saw these clips. Oh, I want to play this too. Show you how they over there.
I want to get to our team coverage, turning to the wild scene we've been witnessing all morning outside of El Arepaso in Doral.
Yeah, so many people showing support for Venezuela. This after the capture of Nicolas Maduro. We do have Lois and Jolena Sparto live with more. Hey, Jolena.
Global fury erupts. Now look at this, cause they gonna get they finna get this this Northern Kingdom dub to speak. Hey, it tell you, boy, ain't no difference between
Hi, I think you guys can hear me now, and let me tell you something.
Look at this.
There is a massive dance party going on behind me. I just want you to take a look at it. I almost got caught in the middle of it, but I wanted to show you guys instead, so I stepped outside. But look at this pool of Venezuelan flags. I mean, just look at everybody erupting and singing and dancing. There is so much emotion in this, mostly happy, but of course, it's a mix of emotions. It's been scary. It's been scary, and a lot of these people, they're Venezuelan, they're Venezuelan Americans. They have family back in Venezuela, and a lot of them have not slept because they have had to make sure their family was all right once they heard the news. And I wanted to introduce you to someone, 16-year-old Emily Tovar. Emily, tell me a little bit about what it's been like. You have not slept, have you?
Yes, bro. Oh my God. Like, you don't understand like the feeling that I have right now, because I haven't been there in so long. I really miss being there. I miss my family. I want to see them. But what is happening right now, like, I'm so happy that it's happening, because they really needed to take down the president. They need to take out Padrino. That's Vladimir, and also Diosdado. They need to take him down. Those two are the ones who we need to take them down right now.
How long have you been here this week?
8 years. I've been living here 8 years.
And how long have you been here this morning?
This morning,
celebrating.
Oh my God, probably like 7 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning until, I don't know.
And has it been worth the night of no sleep after hearing all the news and being able to celebrate what you're able to do?
Yes, I was going to sleep, and then I saw the news, and I woke up my parents. Like, I was so scared because of my family that they're living there. And my parents were like super scared. They were calling my family and all that stuff. But thank God they're good. They're in a safe place right now, and hopefully everything goes well in the future.
Yeah, thank God. And if I wasn't bothering you talking to you right now, would you be in that dance party?
Probably.
I'm gonna let you get back to that dance party, all right? Because I just...
Let's see if they're gonna be having a good time like this in Jacob's trouble.
Don't want to keep you too long. You've been waiting to tell us how everything has been. Thank you so much.
And you know, Northern Kingdom, just like Southern Kingdom, they love to self-proclaim so-called white men.
And I just want to show you guys again what's going on, because so much is happening here at El Arepaso. Just look at everybody. They are so happy. I've never seen such a sea of Venezuelan flags, all different types of flags. I mean, it is a beautiful atmosphere out here right now. And we are going to be here. We're going to stay here. We're going to let you know how the party is going. I have seen dogs dressed up in their flag pride outfits. I've seen costumes celebrating liberty. So we're going to be here. But let me tell you something. If you're not here, you're definitely missing a good party. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Look at Northern Kingdom Eve. Don't know nothing, man. Don't know nothing, man.
Well, certainly a party that follows so much.
I want to speak to President Trump. I want to speak to allies.
Anyway, I just saw this
as I say,
here.
I can be absolutely clear that we were not involved in that. And as you know, I always say and believe we should all uphold international law.
Anyway, a Lord was edifying. We give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, believing this truth and pushing this truth at the four winds of the earth, the entire world. Shed light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwath who will listen learning. You sis will listen learning. Hey, stay prayed up. May Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua continue to bless you in your houses. May the blessing of election